welcome to your 5th yoga session. My name is Lisa and I'm a yoga teacher with the Yoga Association of Alberta, as well as the studio in Edmonton Yoga Within. We're going to start in a seated position today, so if you do have that blanket or towel handy, I encourage you to grab it. If you need a little lift to sit on, I'm going to sit on my little pillow here. And then just come to a comfortable cross-legged position. So just sort of find where that is for you today. Whichever leg wants to come forward, can come forward. Whichever leg comes further into the lap, your choice. And once you find your place here, go ahead and let the hands come to the tops of the thighs, palms facing open. If you feel comfortable enough, go ahead and close your eyes, or simply just take your gaze down towards the floor. Take a moment to see what part of your body is touching the ground. And then see if there's a balance between the right side of your body and the left side of your body. You might want to move a little bit just to see that you have that sort of stability underneath you and that both sides are balanced and well supported. Once you find that, go ahead and really lengthen that spine out to the top of the crown of your head, lifting through the spine. The more space that we can find in the torso, the more so we can have deeper and deeper breaths. And if this is comfortable for you, go ahead and keep those hands on the thighs. If you'd like to try something a little different with the hands, go ahead and place one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. Taking a deep breath in, feel the hands rise up. And as you exhale, feel them sink down towards your body. Try that a couple more times. Know that you can always come back to your breath. Your breath brings you back to the present moment. Inhale and exhale. And if it feels comfortable in your body, go ahead and take the hand that's on the belly and bring it on top of the hand on the chest. You can soften your head down. You may want to take the chin towards the chest, looking down. If your eyes were open, you'd be looking at your hands. You can keep those eyes soft. Just lowering our head in gratitude to ourselves for showing up today, showing ourselves some self-love. You might feel your heart under your hands. And then as you're ready, go ahead and bring your gaze up, your head up. You might want to butterfly, your eyes open. Hands remain on that heart. Excellent. So as we have our hand on our chest and our belly, we can feel our breath moving in the front part of our body. Now I'd like you to take your hands and place them just around the rib cage or so. So elbows go out to the side, and take a couple breaths here and see if you can get that same sort of expansion. So as you inhale, elbows travel away from your body. And then as you exhale, the hands come towards the belly button, in through that midline. So take a couple big breaths here. Feeling the expansion of those really big organs. You've got these huge lungs that bring in air and let out air. And then finally, see if you can take your hands and place them in the small of your back. I want to see if you can feel your breathing in your back. So as you take a deep breath in, it might feel like your hands are pressing away from you. And then as you exhale, those hands might sort of soften down into the low back. Usually the back breath is the hardest one to feel, so it's a really good one to practice for all of us. So the front body here, the side body here, and the back body here. Feeling those lungs inflate and deflate. Fantastic. Now take your hands just down to those knees and we'll start with some spinal rotations. So coming forward and around. Really scoop that belly out as you bring yourself back behind. Here we go. Scoop and then forward. One more time. This direction. And then once you come to the center once more, go ahead and rotate to the other side. Scoop that belly back and rotate. So really good warm up for the spine, also giving a little light compression to our lungs. And we'll still continue to inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Come to that seated, upright position. From here, we're going to bring our legs nice and forward. Give them a bit of a shake out. You might want to put your hands on your knees and just release any sort of tension. From here, I want you to think about your heels in your feet, and we're going to point and flex those toes pretty quickly here. Nothing too slow. Getting some movement, getting some awakeness to those feet and to those ankles. Sitting nice and tall, really lift up through your spine as best you can as you keep those feet moving. So the movement's in the ankle, not in the knee. So keep those knees relaxed. Excellent. A little bit more of a shake. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees up, plant those heels even further, and see if you can bring those toes a little bit towards your shin. Sit up nice and tall, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, walk those fingertips forward, allowing the torso to connect to the tops of your thighs. Let the gaze come down, but try to keep that chin slightly lifted. We want to use those neck muscles to keep that neck nice and long. So we're not dropping it, we're keeping it nice and long. Awesome. Go ahead and walk those fingertips back up. If you are sitting on something, just remove that real quickly because we're going to walk ourselves back a bit. So you can plant your hands down at the side, just lift your hips slightly and sit back. You've straightened your knees, but you've decided to take yourself backwards. Sitting up nice and tall, deep breath in. And as you exhale, walk those fingertips forward, feeling a little bit more of a stretch through those backs of the thighs. We've sat ourselves a little bit further back. So that's going to make us have a little bit of a longer leg. Good. Walk ourselves back. Again, press into those hands, lift yourself up, and sit those hips back a little bit further. Here we go. Inhale in. Exhale, walk yourself forward. Legs are getting a little bit straighter. Dig into those heels. Keep those feet alert. Good. Let the head be long. One more time, we're going to walk ourselves back. If it feels good in your body, you're welcome to lift and completely straighten those legs out. Pressing those thighs down to the ground. If not, you're welcome to keep the knees a little bit bent. No problem. Taking those hands at the sides, walking ourselves forward, nice, long through the neck. Again, the idea is to connect the torso to the thighs. It's not about getting your nose to your shins. So just think about making that connection, and as you feel that connection, maybe you start feeling that front body breath. Every inhale, that little bit of pressure against those thighs, and as you exhale, a little bit of a release, a little bit of space shows up. Looking for some space in our body. Excellent. Walk those fingertips up and give those legs a little bit of a shake. Now sitting here with those legs nice and straight, dig into those heels. Plant those hands down at the side of your body. If your hands don't touch perfectly below the shoulders, you might feel like you have to bring them slightly forward or slightly back. So find the place where your hands meet the ground. We want that connection. So sit up nice and tall, lift through the chin, keep that chin lifted, don't drop that head, gaze looking forward. And heck, add a smile. Good work, everybody. Now from here, we're going to gradually walk our hands back behind us and see if we can give ourselves a little bit of a chest opening. So our ribs stay down as our chest and heart come forward. So a little bit of openness through the chest area. Here is the side view of that. So opening here, try to keep keep those ribs down, heart is lifting, fingertips facing forward, heels pressing down. Good. And then walk those hands forward. You decide your forward fold. If you really want a nice big bend through those knees as you come forward, awesome, go ahead. Or slightly straighten those knees out or all the way out as you come forward into this nice forward fold. Take a breath here. And just listen to what your body has to tell you today. Walk those fingertips up. Go ahead and kick those legs out to the side, and we'll come up onto hands and knees. So go ahead and get yourself to a hands and knees position. Hands underneath elbows, elbows underneath shoulders. Press down through the tops of the feet. Press down through all 10 fingertips. And get yourself settled into this nice long spine. From here, I'd like you just to see if you can circle your body around in this hands and knees position. So we're getting a little bit of rotation, a little bit of movement through the knees, the wrists, and then reverse. Around we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. Actually, I know. We're going to stop here in just a second and then land back to the middle here. Kick your left foot back and come up onto that toe. Press that heel all the way back. Trying to keep that hip down though. We don't want it to open up and allow ourselves to flare open. So keep that hip facing down. Take those toes now and lift them over that right leg behind you. Really feel a nice big stretch on the left side of the body. And then if it feels good in your body, go ahead and turn a little bit and look for that left foot. Feeling a really generous stretch all the way down that left side of the body. The more you ground down through that back leg, you'll need to ground down through those two hands. Good, take your gaze back to the center. Release that left leg. Now from here, I'd like you to slowly bring that left knee forward, rounding through the spine, tucking the chin in, and try to squeeze in. And take that leg back out. Let's do 2 more times. Squeeze that knee in, and let that leg come out, rounding through the spine, pressing through those hands for support. And then 1 more time back, press that heel back a little bit more so you can get a little bit more of a stretch through that calf, and let it come back down to the ground. Awesome. Go ahead and knock those hips from side to side for a moment, and then we'll come over to the right hand side. Kick that right leg back, come onto those toes. Feel that length long through the body again, closing the hips. This is they're open. You need to close them so that right hip is facing down towards your mat. Lift that right leg and place it over top of the left. And then from there, if you'd like, add that look. So rounding a little bit, just take that look at that right foot. Long, long stretch on the right hand side of the body. Press back through that heel, down through the hands. Top of the left foot needs to press. And then release the gaze back to the front. And that right leg comes right behind you. Lift it up and over. From here, bend that right knee in as you round through the chest, chin, nose, and forehead coming towards that knee. 2 more times as we kick out. We come all the way back in. Round that belly, really scoop it out. Last time through. Feel the heat and energy the body is making all the way through the middle and out to both our arms and our legs. Press that heel back. Trying to keep the integrity of your pelvis. Try not to tip. And then bring that right foot down. Fantastic work. Tip those toes under both feet. And from here, we're going to lift up, firing up that belly just a little bit more. Tabletop plank here for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and press those hips out back without bringing those knees down. Then lift those hips all the way up into our first downward facing dog. Take a moment just to assess where your feet are. Go ahead and pedal those feet out. If the feet need to come a little wider, give that a try. Or maybe they come a little more narrow.
your body today. Strong through those fingertips, press down, and then come to stillness. Take a pause. Let your body tell you where it needs to be. Inhale and exhale. And now ground into your left foot. So really think all the body weight into your left foot. Press down into both hands and slowly let that right foot lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. Now if you've gone this far, you've gone too far. So try not to lift too high. I'd like you to keep your leg parallel to the floor. Really press down through the left hand as the right hand feels like there's much more pressure. Try to balance out that pressure. So thigh parallel to the floor. Reach that leg back behind you and then slowly lower it down. Take a moment and pause. Attempt to connect back to your breath. Heels may still be up off the mat or slowly lowering, whatever is good for you and your body. Now ground into that right foot. Really think strong connection, right foot to the mat. And then we're gonna lift, let that left leg lift and lift and lift and lift and lift and lift. And if you lift it so high that your hips are wide open, go ahead and change that. We don't want that. We want that leg parallel to the floor. So making sure that we haven't gone overdoing it and overdone with that leg. We want to keep it parallel. Feel the weight in that left hand. Try to balance it out. Try to get it more in the right. Hold it there. Feel the heat rising. And then slowly lower that left foot down. Wonderful job, everybody. Staying here for one more pause. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. From here, take those baby little steps, little baby steps. Walk those hands, your feet to your hands, all the way up together. From here, come to a half fold or a full fold, you decide, keeping as much of a bend in the knee as needed. And then slowly walk your hands all the way up those legs, slowly, slowly. So come to standing, root those shoulders back, coming into our strong mountain pose without looking down at your feet. See if you can find the best place for your feet to land. Just shift the weight a little bit and see where is the best place to stand. Once you find it, really use those legs, lift up those kneecaps a little bit, drop that low back, think of a nice long back, shoulders coming down, arms down at the side, and hold that. Sweep those fingertips up, take a nice deep breath in, and a releasing exhale out. Try that again. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good work. Bringing some openness and some awareness to those arms. Last time, keep those hands all the way up. Excellent. And we're going to come all the way over to the right. Reaching, reaching, reaching with those fingertips. If that doesn't feel good, hand can always come to shoulder or to the waistline. You decide, lifting all the way up, coming over to the left. Again, we're not trying to collapse here one more time on each side. We don't want to fall into our side. We want to think up, 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 up the whole time. Good, reach up. We want as much space in those ribs as possible so that breath can be even better. Good work. One more time, really lift those arms up and then drop them down, almost like you're plugging your shoulders in. Lift them up and then plug them all the way in. Go ahead and release those arms down. Just give them a nice shake out, a little release. Wonderful. Thinking about grounding into just your right leg. So think of that right leg really strong underneath you.
peel the heel up on that left foot. Hands can come to the top of the pelvis. Just hold that position. Now bring that right foot closer to that left leg. So almost try to see if you can make a nice connection. From here, open up that left leg. Open and close, like a book, like one book. You're just opening and closing. Lifting up through the middle. Try to keep that middle engaged. Open and close. Good. Now from here, if it's available to you, open up and see if you can place the bottom of the left foot right on that right leg. So the left foot is on the right leg. See if you can hold that. And if you feel you can go a little further, maybe bring those toes up off the ground and place the bottom of the foot on the calf. Maybe you feel like you go a little further, then maybe bring it a little higher, and maybe you might want to help yourself to get yourself to a little bit of a higher position. Big connection between that foot and the thigh. For me today, I know my balance is not feeling so hot, so I'm going to go on through the calf. So holding that there, balancing, bringing the hands to the heart. Now let's press those hands together. Press them together, just like we're pressing that foot together with the calf. Press and press. And then if it's available to you, reach up towards the sky, really spread those arms apart. If you fall down, no problem, come back into it. Doesn't matter. Just always try your best. Good. And then bring those hands back to the heart. Press them together. Close that book, close that leg in, and drop it down. Wonderful. Let those arms come just down to the side. Pedal those feet out or just stand for a moment. Do you see or feel or have any sensation different on one side of the body versus the other? Now grounding into that left foot. Really press that foot down into the ground and lift the heel on the right hand side. Still feeling really tall, lift up through the abdominals, strong through those legs, shoulders stay down. Take those hands to the hips or just above the pelvis, and we will open and close. Now if it feels better in your body, maybe bring that foot closer to the left leg as you open and close, pivoting in through this hip bone. Good. And then come to stillness. Bring that foot right close beside that left leg, almost like it's a kickstand on your bike. Hold it there. And then if it feels good, you can keep bringing that foot up higher and higher. You're welcome to stay here. There's no reason why you have to come off the toes. So see what is best on this side. As much as our body looks the same on both sides, or it looks like a mirror, really isn't. There is a difference, definitely in both sides of the body. So if you want to let that foot float up, you can. You can come up a little higher. Just try not to place that foot on the inside of the knee. We don't want to apply any pressure going this way into our knee. So you decide, or if you wanted to help yourself, get yourself up nice and high, you're welcome to come here as well. So find what feels good. From here, really open up that right hip. So press that right knee out to the side. Hands come to prayer position. Ooh, that might cause you to be a little unstable. Press those hands together. Press that foot into the side of the calf and really lift out of that left leg. Good. And if you feel like you want to grow all the way up to a nice tall tree, you can let those fingertips come all the way up to the sky. Balance. Now my little trick is to stare at something that's not moving. That'll help you ground yourself using your vision or your sight to get steady. Good. Middle stays in the middle. Bring those hands back to that heart center. Good work. Close that book and then lower that foot down. Beautiful job. Release those legs. Go ahead and just pedal out those legs a bit. Shake out those hands. And then come all the way to the front of your mat. Stepping forward here, we'll come all the way up so our toes are right on the edge of our mat, almost like you're in the deep end of the pool and you're right on the edge. looking down. So right to that position, to that mountain, coming nice and tall. From here, step back with your right leg without looking. Have faith and know that that floor is back behind you. Step back. Oh yeah, there it is. Now try to wiggle that leg back a little bit while you keep those hips squared to the short end of your mat. Sink down through that front knee a little bit. That left knee's bent, and we're in a nice high lunge. So you're up on those back toes, heel is lifted, hips square forward. Try to keep those shoulders right on top of that pelvis. And hold that here. Excellent. Now power up through that back leg and step forward. Great. Coming over to the left-hand side, take that leg back. You need to wiggle a little bit to find where that position's good for your high lunge. Sink down into that front knee, right knee bending. Kick that left heel back. Chest and heart lifted, shoulders down. And if it feels like you're still a little unsteady, you can always walk that front leg out to widen the base of your support. So that's an option too if you need it. Power up that back foot and step it forward. All right, that's the foundation. We're moving on. Step back again with that right foot. Finding that position, finding that lunge, sink down through that left knee. See where you are. Alrighty, let's add some arms. Let those fingertips come forward in front of you. Nice and straight. Really spread those fingers apart. Now imagine that you have a beach ball in between your hands. You've got to press into each side of that beach ball so you don't drop it in the water. Press those hands together. Lift up from the middle. Shoulders over pelvis. Sink down a little lower. Press those hands into that beach ball. Excellent job. Holding that beach ball. Now, can you take it up and overhead? Lift, lift, lift. Press into that beach ball. Imagine that beach ball being there. Really strong through your arms. Sink down a little bit lower for 3, 2, and 1. Lower that beach ball to shoulder height. Drop that beach ball into the pool. Kick that back leg forward and come all the way back up to the edge of the pool or the edge of your mat. From here, we're going to head back again. Take that left leg back, step it all the way back. Bend through that right knee. Maybe wiggle that left foot back, kick that heel back, sinking down, hips square to the short end of that mat, right to the edge of that pool. Shoulders can roll back, sink them over top of the pelvis, and then when you're ready, reach those arms up to shoulder height. Sink down a little lower. Imagine again, you've got another beach ball in between those hands. Press those hands together around that beach ball. Press. And hopefully the beach ball hasn't deflated since the last time you used it. So there's a lot of pressure there. Pressure, pressure with those arms. Now reach that beach ball all the way up overhead. Press and sink down. Shoulders over pelvis. Strong through the middle. Press those hands against that beach ball. Now, holding it here for 3, 2, 1. Lower those hands to shoulder height. Throw that beach ball into the pool. Hands can come to hips. And power up that back leg and step on forward. Wonderful job. Give those legs a bit of a pedal out. Great, great job. Another option here. A little bit more lunging, my friends. Here we go. Step back with that right foot. Come all the way back. Sink into that front knee. Press that heel back. Look for that beach ball. It's here somewhere. Grab a hold of that beach ball. Bring it to shoulder height. Press those hands into that beach ball. And then from here, we're going to add a little rotation. So we'll rotate over to the left, pressing those hands into that beach ball. Back to the center. Use those tummy muscles. Now bring that beach ball over to the right. This one's a little trickier. Away from that supported leg. Hold it there. Bring it all the way back. And bring that beach ball into your chest and press it out to the pool. Let it go. Step that back leg, right leg forward to meet the left. Awesome work. Stepping back with the left leg now. You got this. You know how to do this. Sink down. Square those hips forward. Press that heel back. Beach ball comes up to shoulder height. We're going to rotate ourselves now over to the right. Squeeze those hands together. Good work. Come back to the center. Now here's the tricky one. A little bit more work here. Engage those muscles. We're going to rotate to the left. Opening up away from that stability leg, that right leg. Good. Bring yourself all the way to the front. Pull that beach ball into your chest and a big chest pass. Throw it out to the pool. Bring those hands back to the hips. Awesome. Power up that back heel and bring it forward. Beautiful job. Way to go. That was some intense lunging, my friends. Let's come back to the center of our mat. Take your legs nice and wide apart, so really wide. Really, really wide. Just take a check to see that your feet are parallel to the short end of your mat. And let's just move our hips from side to side for just a moment. Releasing any tension on the side. Feel that out for a moment. Awesome. And then from here, I want you to think about where your leg meets your pelvis, so your hip crease. We're going to hinge from here, as opposed to our waistline when I come from the hips. So think really tall through our spine, and then slowly hinge forward from those hips. Bring yourself so that your torso is parallel to the floor. Try to keep a soft bend through those knees so we're not locking them out, nor are we squatting. So those knees are kind of in that in-between. You might need to adjust the distance between your feet, so make a little adjusting. Toes might come in a little bit if you need to. A nice long spine. Awesome. Use those legs now, press down through the big toe and the pinky toe, and lift yourself all the way back up. Awesome. Take your hands now and bring them all the way back into the small of your back. So hold them there. Legs are still nice and wide. From here, we're going to see if we can keep our chest open as we hinge forward from those hips. So nice and tall, deep breath in. And as you exhale, hinge forward. Keep those elbows coming back, shoulder blades coming together. Come to parallel to the floor. Lift those elbows as best you can. Strong through the middle. And then as you're ready, use those legs, power them up, bring you all the way back up to standing. Beautiful. Small change. If you'd like to try clasping your hands behind your back, so bring them back behind, hands come together, we've got our fingers clasped behind, kind of running down the back of your spine and buttocks, sitting nice and tall over top of that pelvis, coming from those hip creases, reaching those arms down, deep breath in, and as you exhale, hinge from those hips, maybe slightly lifting those hands up. If you have a bit more mobility, you might want to come a bit further down. So not halfway anymore. We're going to bring those hands up, really pulling, opening through the chest. Now staying here is just fine. So you can stay parallel, or you can come all the way over to a nice fold, squeeze those shoulder blades together as those hands are clasped together, coming over. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, press into those feet. Keep those hands lifted if you can, all the way back up to standing. Excellent work. Release those hands. Woo! And give them a good shake out. Really big opening exercise for that chest. Very energizing. So if you just felt like you got a burst of energy, go ahead and jump your feet together and close up those legs. It's just a lot of energy that comes from opening up our chest. Alrighty, my friends, come back to the front of your mat. We're going to take a deep breath in, reach all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, hinge from those hips again, but feet are now underneath those hips. So we're coming all the way down, feet closer together, not a wide-legged. Release the head and just hang for just a moment. A little decompression for our back. And then slowly bend those knees, bring those hands and plant them to the ground. And then if it's available to you, I invite you to do a couple of what we call spinal rolls. So we'll come down, and we'll roll ourselves. Have a little bit of a play here. You can roll a little bit. Hands can come behind the thighs.
might feel good coming down from the neck all the way to the tip of our tailbone. Excellent. And then coming to stillness, having your knees bent, feet flat. You might need to weasel yourself a little bit, wiggle up your mat a little bit. Adjusting ponytails as you need. That needs to be adjusted. Move any hair away. What actually might feel good is to take your hands just into the back of your neck and then slowly just lift your fingertips up behind the head. That just kind of helps you place your head a little bit better, getting a nice long lengthening through the back. Awesome. So plant those feet down. We'll take our hands down to the ground. We'll take palms facing down. Wiggle those shoulders and find the floor underneath you. And from here, we're going to press into our feet and allow our hips to come up towards the ceiling. So press those feet. Might start squeezing the buttocks as you lift, lift, lift. Let that chest come to your chin instead of your chin coming to your chest. So see if you can get a little bit more lift to the chest. You've got points of contact on the feet, the hands, on the upper back, and then on the back of the head. You want to balance that weight. So see if you can use your feet a little bit more and not let all the weight come down into your head and neck. Good, and then slowly, with awareness, one little vertebra at a time. Each of our backbone is coming down, 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 and finally the base of your spine hits the ground. Now this second version we're going to try is bringing our hands a little bit closer underneath our body. What you may find is just keeping your hands flat is also an option, or you might want to clasp your hands like we did in that standing wide-legged forward fold. So give that a try here. Press into those feet, lifting up the pelvis, contracting a little bit through the buttocks. Hands are going to walk underneath a little bit and sort of get a sensation of a bit of a rolling action onto those shoulders. Lifting those hips up. Watch that the knees aren't falling way far apart. Keep them glued together. Try to squeeze those thighs together. And then if it's available, maybe you do clasp your hands and bring yourself into a bit more of an opening through that chest. Now the option is always here to stay here with the hands out to the side. So you decide, what is it best in your body right now? Good, and then slowly lowering, very slow. Almost feel like your pelvis is pulling you down to the short end of your mat, and then let that pelvis drop. Wonderful job. Go ahead and bring those knees into the chest. Give those low back a bit of a stretch. Give those knees a bit of a pull. Hands can be on the backs of the thighs or on top of the shins, works too. So you decide what feels good for you in this juicy, juicy, yummy stretch. And then bringing the arms out to a nice T position. Let's flip our hands over so that our palms are facing towards our ceiling. Walk our legs just slightly back, but keeping the feet off the ground, shins parallel to the floor. Now I want you to consciously think about bringing the knees in towards the chest, and as you do, slowly rotating over to the right-hand side. Dropping the legs down. Maybe the knees hit the ground, maybe not. If they don't, this is a good place to put your blankie. Good. And then holding that nice spinal twist. Gaze can look up, over to the left, or over to the right. All good choices. Whatever feels good in your neck. Nice big twist. Good. And then before you move those legs, bring the gaze so it's back up towards the ceiling. And then we'll lift those legs up, squeeze them into your belly, squeeze them in, and come back to lying. Walk those legs out. Bring those shins parallel to the floor to reset. All right, we'll come over to that left-hand side. Pull those knees tight into the chest. Squeeze them in and then slowly rotate over to the left-hand side. Again, if those left leg doesn't reach the ground, it's a good place to put your towel or your blanket. Now, keeping the head straight and looking forward, totally fine to the ceiling, or you can rotate over to your right shoulder or all the way over to the left. You decide what is feeling best for your neck today. Now, think of that strong tummy. Pull those knees in and slowly lift those legs back up. Really squeeze in like you want to make the smallest little ball possible. And once you've reached that position, before kicking those legs out, take those hands either on the shins or on the thighs. Tuck that chin, nose, and forehead in. And then if it's available to you, maybe you want to grab your feet. That might be possible, or not, whatever feels good. Make yourself as tiny as possible. And then slowly release. Bring those hands all the way up overhead. Nice, big, long body stretch. Reach for the wall above your head. Reach those toes to the wall below your toes, nice and long. And then from here, I'd like you to take a chance to contract as many muscles in your body as humanly possible. So what that means is you're going to scrunch your fingers, your toes, your mouth, your eyes, your belly. We'll squeeze everything that we can. So let's take a deep breath in, and on that exhale, go ahead and squeeze everything as hard as you can. Get the tummy, get the face, get the fists, get the toes, squeeze. And then release everything to the floor. Whew. Let's do that one more time. Bringing lots of tension, lots of engagement. Deep breath in, squeeze those inner thighs together, squeeze and point those toes. Grimace your face as much as you can, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then completely release everything. Ultimate relaxation, just release, release, and release. So if it's comfortable for you, walk those feet up so that they're bent, knees are bent, I should say, and then walk the feet out as wide as your mat, and then just simply let the knees fall in towards each other. Just giving a little final lengthen through the back and across the tailbone. Take those hands back down to your side. Palms can be facing down or facing up. Wiggle for a moment and try to find the best position. We need to come to our final pose. Now, if it feels good for you here, keeping the knees knocked together, you're welcome to stay here. Or if you'd like, you can straighten both legs out nice and wide so they're not touching each other, and release the whole body to the floor. As you become settled, find your breath. Reconnect to where your breath is in your body. Is it in the front body? Is it in the side body? Or is it in the back body? Maybe the breath is going all the way around your body. It's a 360-degree breath all the way around your torso. Deep breath in, releasing breath out. Softly bringing your awareness back into your space, taking tiny little movements with your fingers and your toes, taking
taking those movements maybe a little bigger now into some wrist rotation or ankle rotations. Maybe it feels good to reach the hands overhead once more and give yourself a nice long body stretch. And maybe it feels good to move your head from side to side. Take one more big breath in and a deep exhale out. Start to roll yourself over to the side, whether it be right or left, you decide. And come to a side lying position with your head supported on your arm. Take one more big breath here in that side lying position. And once you've done that, go ahead and press yourself up to a seated position. Know that you can always come back to your breath. Bringing that hand to the heart, hand to the belly, gives you an awareness to where you're breathing. You can always come to the sides and to the back as well, to see if we can get as much air as we can through these really two big, beautiful organs. So just take that hand, if it's not there already, on the heart, one hand on the belly. A deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Bring our hands to our heart center, pressing those thumbs into the chest, dropping our gaze down in gratitude to ourselves for practicing some yoga today. Thank you so much for joining me today. The light in me sees the light in all of you. Namaste.